I saw a video of the president talking about the lady who is an immigrant from Somalia who is in the US Congress, and it really touched me. Like,
if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave.
What were you talking about in your tweet about going back to their home?
Well, I didn't mention names, and I didn't do that, but I will tell you, if you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. And that's what I say all the time. That's what I said in a tweet, which I guess some people think is controversial. A lot of people love it, by the way. But if you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay, too. But if you're not happy, you can leave. I look at Omar. I don't know. I never met her. I hear the way she talks about Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda has killed many Americans. She said, when I think of America, when I think of Al-Qaeda, I can hold my chest out. When she talked about the World Trade Center being knocked down, some people, you remember the famous some people. These are people that, in my opinion, hate our country. Now, you can say what you want, but get a list of all of the statements they've made. And all I'm saying that if they're not happy here, they can leave. I don't know who's going to miss them, but I guess some people will. One of them is polling at 8%. So when I hear people speaking about how wonderful Al-Qaeda is, when I hear people talking about some people with the World Trade Center, some people, no, not some people, much more than some people. When I hear the statements that they've made, and in one case you have somebody that comes from Somalia, which is a failed government, a failed state, who left Somalia, who ultimately came here, and now is a congresswoman who's never happy, says horrible things about Israel, hates Jews, hates Jews. It's very simple. And if the Democrats want to wrap their bows around this group of 4 people, one of them kept Amazon out of New York, tens of thousands of jobs, would have been a great thing. And New York has not been the same since that happened. I watched Lindsey Graham today on Fox and Friends talking about the same subject. He said they're communists. I'm saying they're socialists, definitely. As to whether or not they're communists, I would think they might be. But this isn't what our country is about. Nevertheless, they're free to leave if they want. And if they want to leave, that's fine. And if they want to stay, that's fine. But the people have to know. And politicians can't be afraid to take them on. I'll tell you what. I'm not happy with them. And it's very easy to be say, oh, gee, well, it's okay. If weak politicians want to say, and the Democrats in this case, if they want to gear their wagons around these 4 people, I think they're going to have a very tough election, because I don't think the people of the United States will stand for it.
I felt like, why do you always struggle so much? You want to make change, you want to inspire people, you want to be different, but then you're just like stabbed at the back, like in front, you just slapped.
Number 1 Kenya mzima, East Africa, mambo ni hapa, kila kitu ni tamu zaidi.
I live at a very peaceful place. This area is very, very peaceful. And ever since I started living here where I am, I've not really experienced direct racism. Though when I get down to read or listen to people talking about what kinds of racism are there, then I normally hear that even if they ask about touching your hair or how did you come to Germany or whatever, that all that is also racism. But really, direct hate racism, where I live now, I've never really experienced it. Not yet. I'm using the word not yet because you never know. Now with social media and everything, you never know. So on Saturday, a friend of mine told me that as she was walking just next to my place here, towards my place, there were some teenagers in a car, and they opened the window and shouted at her, nigger. So I was just thinking, is it because of social media? Is it because they're now seeing news everywhere, even German news full of this, what's happening in America, that black people are being killed and stuff? Is it because of that they're now realizing or noticing that being black is different, that being black is something else? You know, is it what is igniting such words now from these German boys who it's been long since I've never even heard from them mention that word, because normally the people who are here are very kind to us black people. We have few black people where I live, but really the people here are very kind to us always. We are always integrated and we are kind of loved. It's always me, Pauline, and some Togo guys, and we are actually we fit in very well. But since this situation on Saturday, this incident on Saturday, I've started fearing, started thinking twice. Even going for jogging, I feel like I will only have to jog on the road. And if I jog on the road, sometimes I also feel like somebody may just take a gun out of the car and just shoot me. You know, these things you see in movies. Somebody just, I'm insecure. Like Sauti Sol is saying, insecure. I'm just insecure. So, I want to know from you guys, how do you feel about this situation? Let me try and add somebody. Let me try and add somebody. Huh?
I'm so busy. Let me turn off the stove.
Okay.
I'll only be here for like less than a minute, so. Okay, I was also watching the same thing and I was wondering the same thing, like people are not reacting, but also you should go back to remember, this is something that has been going on, okay? Sikitimeanza saa hizi. So at times, to her, if she was doing it live, to my thinking, now career, if she went live, there's no way she doesn't have a hana simu ingine. Here we don't carry two phones like people do in Kenya. Okay? So hana simu ingine. So at times, nowadays I've noticed people like to take lives for proof. If you look in Facebook, saizi utapata, a lot of people are doing, a lot of lives are coming out of things that have happened in the past. Of course, the good lives will not come out right now of the good cops, because people are not interested in that right now, but a lot of lives about bad cops are coming out, which I understand. And if, in most cases, we'll find that when you go in the comment section, which I really rush the comment section, you find that actually these cops were either fired, like immediately and stuff like that. So it gives me some sort of hope. So me, I'm thinking, because that lady, if you really watch, she was like, he can't breathe. She was really trying to talk to them. But then, of course, okay, there are 3 other cops there. They're not doing anything about it. Sembuse, the common person, atadu. So she's just gonna do what she's gonna do best. At Weke Live, tujione. Hopefully somebody else called the cops. Okay? Me nafikiria they're just scared. They're just scared. Inikitu may grow up knowing people are growing up raising their kids, like boys especially, wanaume wanadhulumiwa huku sana. They're being raised to know that ukisimamishwa na polisi, weka mkono yako juu, do this. Like, mbona to raise watoto wetu hivyo, not just knowing that everybody's okay, is equal. Wanaraiswa to know that ukisimamishwa na polisi, do 1, do 3, do 2, do 3. Na mtu mwingine in another race afanyishwe the same way. So wame grow up knowing that, wameogopa mapolisi, hawatrust mapolisi. So yeah, alifanya what she knew what was best. Let me record this. Actually, this is getting me hard because it's getting me pissed off. Let me record this. Alafu, when the authorities see, maybe something will be done. Imagine kama ingekuwa recorded, alafu hawa watu wangechukua like the next actions. Kama wangechukua the next action, which is not right, but wamechoka, Terry. They are tired. Wamechoka. You know? So, acha niachie tu hapo. I have 30 minutes to cook.
How is it?
You see there, I'm hot. You see there, I'm hot just talking about it. That's how it is. Now, wengine wetu tunadecide tu tuiekele chini because hatutaki issues, you know what I mean? Yeah. But, sipo.
Okay.
Asante. Okay, bye.
By the way, I was wondering, why wouldn't that policeman just take a gun and shoot that guy, like, once and a straight death? Why did he have to kneel on his neck and let him suffer first? It's not that I want to kill you or I just hate you. I want to show the world, because he knew he was being recorded and he was doing it even after the guy was actually dead or lifeless. He was still kneeling on his neck, and he was not even worried about that recording. He didn't even ask for the recorder to stop recording. And I was like, why can't he just take his gun from his pocket? It's easier. Put one shot of pain on him and then it's over. Hi.
Hey, hi Terry. I'm not used to this kind of platforms. The platforms I'm used to is mostly when I'm DJing. So talking to silence is a little bit difficult. Anyways, very interesting topic. I can't say that I can relate to what people in the States are going through. Being in Canada, it's a little bit different, but not very far. Just the way the social cultural sort of status in Canada, people are very calm, very friendly, and when you talk about racism, it's not necessarily very, how should I put it? It's not very blunt. If you feel sort of uneasy, say in a public place, like I've been in situations whereby, for example, I took the bus in the first years when I came to Canada, for example, and I got into a bus and I'm sitting in a next to an empty seat, and everybody's walking to the bus, and nobody's sitting next to me. And I was even, and I was even kind enough to offer this seat. And I was like, hey, somebody can sit next to me. I have no issues. But they all declined. So, but then maybe it's not even them. Maybe let's just be the devil's advocate and pretend that they really didn't feel like sitting down and they're just standing. But because of maybe my inferiority complex, I just felt like they don't want to sit next to me because I'm black, So I think, yeah, some of these things I think are ingrown within ourselves as opposed to from other people. But the reality of it is, regardless of where you are, I think racism is alive, I don't know your situation in Germany. I mean, every time I think about, I flew through Germany one time and I went to a restaurant and I felt so uncomfortable. No, I couldn't speak the language. I felt out of place. And then from what I know from, you can call it social media or the news and the Hitlers and everything that everybody knows, not having been on the ground, in my mind, I just felt like, hey,
that is
exactly, these guys might lynch me or something, So it was very uncomfortable. So maybe they never saw that in me, but I just felt that way, right? So, but coming to whatever is going on in the US right now with police brutality, personally, I honestly think policing as an institution in its own, I feel like it's not necessarily for everybody. Not everybody can just come out there and become a police officer. So I think there needs to be some kind of sensitization when it comes to who can become a police officer in regards to, how are you in terms of dealing with other races. I think some kind of sensitization needs to happen before somebody's given that much power. You have a gun, you can make some life-changing decisions as to whether somebody lives or dies. But if you bring in somebody into the force who, say for example, they harbor some kind of ill feeling towards against a certain race, then it's not going to help the situation. And it is true, not all cops or police officers are bad people, but giving another human being that kind of power is very dangerous. And you see this literally everywhere in the world. I don't even think this is just necessarily just an American thing. Go back to Kenya. Look the way some of our police officers act. You give somebody a rungu and a AK-47, they own the whole world. If you give me a rungu and an AK-47, if I have those kind of feelings harbored, and that's how I grew, and I know I almost feel like I'm better than the other race, I will act the same way, unfortunately. But I think those positions and people given those type of jobs, there needs to be a better way of handling sort of the recruitment and just sensitization on how to treat other races in general,
And that is what I was asking. Do you think the internet is making it worse? Because like when it's happening in Kenya during elections, for example, they watch it, they see it. Yeah. When CNN is saying Kenya is a bedrock of terror, they see it. So maybe they now think that is the way to handle black people. And that is why they're doing it.
True. And to be honest, and I don't know what the landscape of Germany looks like. For example, in Canada, I mean, there's some little towns whereby they've literally never seen black people. When I first moved to Canada, I was in a city and I went to this church, and to be honest, half the mass people were wondering who is that, because I was visiting a family who was sitting apparently in the second row in church. And so when you walked into church, I went to spend a weekend with them, and walked into church with my friend's family. I walked into church, and I tell you that the way the heads turned, you know, the whole mass, people not even paying attention. It was not a big church, but everybody was just wondering, who's that black guy in church? And then after church, little kids are looking at you straight in the eye, because some of them have honestly never seen a black person. So when you talk about social media and exposing, there might be an effect to what you're saying, because if somebody's living in a small town somewhere in Germany or Canada somewhere, they only know what they know, you know? They've never really seen all these things. But when it comes to light, the first time they have an interaction with a black person, they're like, oh, those are the ones who are being treated different. But then also, you also have to either give credit or discredit the parents, or whoever is, upbringing these children, is the fact that because I watched a video of there's a white dude who talked about his upbringing, and he says how, white people do not have this, they're not given the exposure, onto how to treat other races better, or they're only told about their own race exclusively. So there's never ever any consideration that they can coexist with other races. They're like, we're the best, take care of your own, and that's it. See, with us, we are very, I don't know, Africans, we are very, how do we put it? We pretty much, we can live anywhere. Like, you see how we are all over the earth, exactly. So that gives us an advantage whereby we are more sensitized, we understand, we treat people with respect, because we know we're not the only ones who exist in this world. But when it comes to other people, you find they live in a community that has a movie theater. They never really need to go to downtown. They don't meet black people. So it's self-contained. So I want to kwenda huko nje. So with that said, I can see how that ignorance plays a role. For example, if one of them, imagine somebody like that finds an opportunity to join the force, then always in a police officer. The guy isn't going to treat a black person equally like he would. If he sees the color of the skin, automatically, he will think, oh, this is the one I need to go hard on, So.
And then also, I want to ask, I once mentioned this during the Wakanda season, those times when Lupita brought out this movie, Wakanda. I was like, is it not us black people who exaggerate our blackness? Is it not us who actually see ourselves as something special, like something different? Are we not the ones who force it on the other races that we are black? We're only seeing ourselves as victimized, as like, take it small. Because I saw when Wakanda came out, I had not even watched the movie. I watched the movie a year later when I was in my flight on Emirates. But then I was wondering, blacks, we all came out. Everybody was going to watch the movie was like in a we owned it. Even Marvel company, the company that made the movie, was shocked because when they did the movie, I don't think they were doing it to like bring that racism in it. Then we were like, we own it. It's ours. Like it was ours. We go there with Kitangas and Kaki. What? We were in the Wakanda home. We shocked everybody. So I was thinking, is it not us who are exaggerating our blackness?
The way I see it, I think it's almost, me personally, I'm totally fine with celebrating being black, right? When it comes to I wouldn't even call it exaggeration. I think that is exactly how our culture is. Our culture is very vibrant. We are loud, we enjoy ourselves. You know how it is. The way we dance, the way we talk. Have you ever been in a store and you're saying hi to a black friend in Germany, so to speak? Hey, what do they not? You know what I mean?
Here they
exactly.
Here they look what we did with you. Never.
But that's
ever. You say that?
But now that's the thing. See, now we are pretending. We're pretending because we want to fit in. But a thing like Wakanda, I think this gave Africans an opportunity to sort of not only express themselves, but I think there's been, especially in Hollywood, a time when we've not been recognized and people are always struggling to become, like the forefronters and, just noticing what Africans are able to do. And for such a movie to become so global, I think that's why people turned out the way they did. I don't think it's necessarily like we're exaggerating, but I think it's just more like,
I always want us to be the same, everybody to be the same. Yeah, that's always my wish.
True.
That we see ourselves like we as if not as if that we must see that we own the rights. We are rightfully here on the on
Yeah.
planet Earth, just like the white people or the yellow people, rightfully. So you don't have to always mention like seeing these videos now on social
Yeah.
media. Every video saying, "Oh, because I'm black, I'm being thrown out because I'm black." We all know victims. This victimization, I don't like feeling like I don't like feeling that way. I always feel like a proud chocolate. I just want to have the same rights like that white person. Even the way I behave here out here, I blend out my color. I also blend out their color. I don't see white, I don't see black. When I'm talking to somebody or when I'm giving them instructions, even our gardener here is from Poland, a white guy from Poland, European. But when I say cut that place, I don't see myself as black or like an immigrant or somebody who just came in. I just say those flowers need to be watered, that and that has not to be done. I don't see my blackness.
Okay.
But of course I might be wrong. I'm wrong, yes, but I don't know.
See, that can be a very touchy subject. I think when it comes to I think the fact that one, say for example, and trust me, I've had a lot of white friends and people say, Frank, I don't even know that you're black. I think to me, personally, that's my opinion. I don't know what other people feel. I think to me, just the fact that somebody does not see your color, I think first of all for me it's a problem, because not being able to see your color is almost like they are not only trying to.
It's okay, yes, we're learning.
Oh, I can't see I don't even know if I can see. I can't see comments, but anyways, because I flip my phone, right? So that's okay.
Just swipe to the
Okay.
right.
There we go. Me, I'm not new to this. Me only do DJ mixes and stuff. Anyways, so the thing is, the fact that somebody cannot see my color, to me, will be a problem, because not only are they trying, it's almost like they're trying to assimilate me to become one of them, and not identifying, my richness, my differentness, what I bring to the table. So if you can see that, to me, I think I can feel a certain way. I would want someone to notice that yes, I am black, I am from Africa, and so on and so forth, right? So, but if you tell me, I don't see you as black, you're just like one of us, and it's like, really? Like, really?
So that's how I always live my life. I like it neutral. I like us to be just human.
True. No, in that sense, that is so true, because none of us chose. Like when you're, sorry to be graphic, when you're sliding down the birth canal, there's no one point as a baby or as a fetus where you stop, and then there's a chart where you pick colors. Hey, you know what? The guys out there, wait first. I need to pick a color because I know what it is like out there. We don't have that choice. We find ourselves in this world, and it's just who we are, and we do the best of our ability, right? So it's really sad in the US what's going on, and unfortunately, like I'm so grateful. Canada people are very calm. Racism is alive, it's there, but nobody will kind of step on your foot in public and show you that openly. But in the States, people are very open. Like in Africa, they will tell you if they don't like you. So that one, when it comes to, especially what's happening right now, it comes off a little bit different, Germany, I've heard people, there is, but people chinyamaji too, like nobody's openly just, but they've gone through a lot. Sometimes also plays a fact. When they've gone through a lot in the past, they're like, hey man, kwenda,
They just want peace now. It's like just like Kenya now. Kenya will do now anything to have peace. That's what Germans are also doing. There are still some small group of people, like the Nazis, who are still really, even like now when they watch those such news, they're
getting riled up. Exactly.
But most people really just want their peace.
True.
They avoid anything racism. They just want their peace. But there's of course a group. So I think it's just because of their past. It was enough. And Germans make a big number of the immigrants that went to America during the First World War. Even the parents of, grandparents of Trump, they're all Germans. Mark Zuckerberg. They're all Germans. Yeah. So actually, this is made of Germans. So I don't know whether that is what took. I don't know. I can't say. Some people say we should take our Germans back, but I don't know. I don't know if that's
Hey, you never know.
But
Yeah.
all I'm happy for is that in Germany, especially big cities, we are a bit peaceful. A bit peaceful, at least for now. But when I saw this incident that a group of young people, young boys who normally are very happy to see us, suddenly calling us niggers.
I know that's disheartening.
I just noticed this is from the internet and from news. This is from this American story. Now suddenly they realize, oh, so what this is, oh, now these are the niggers that I normally hear about. Yeah? Suddenly your friend is your enemy just because of news.
It's true.
You know? It's affecting.
Yeah, but hopefully they don't change their minds because of the news. Otherwise, they were never your friend in the first place.
Yeah, it's really disturbing. It disturbed me the whole.
So, are you guys? Are there any parades there as well, or?
Yes, in Berlin they did a very successful parade. Very peaceful. They did it. Yes, in Berlin. And what I loved about the parade in Berlin, almost half or more than half of the people who are protesting were whites.
Cool, that's good.
That was really
absolutely
good.
So in support. So
they really showed.
So I don't think everybody shares the same sentiment. I don't know every white person is racist or whatever. I mean, even if you look at some of the videos, the people are looting of different races, and even some black people actually stood up. I saw some girl, light-skinned girl, painting on a wall. So, and black girls actually intervened. They're like, no, you can't be doing that, So I think but I like the fact that now with the technology that we have, videos are being taken. There's gonna be evidence out there. So at least, even though like you said, they might see people being treated a certain way, but also some of these videos will pop up whereby people actually doing some kind and right things, So not everybody's gonna be painted with one brush. So for now, let's just.
But what about looting? What can you say about the looting? I saw a Chanel shop this morning on. Oh my God! This the American looters are really looters. They're better than Condela.
The Condela utenda kulutwa wapi sasa?
Condela in Kisumu, all in Kenya, when looting takes place, they don't really burn houses. They don't burn police cars. All they do is break in and pick a TV and run away. But these ones here, they're professionals.
but
I was like, Alua's among these guys.
The thing is that with especially right now, remember something happened. I don't know whoever. It's unfortunate that we have to count how many people have been killed brutally by police. But there's one that happened before, and something similar happened. I mean, there was a little bit of looting, but not to this extent. But I think the idea or the fact that coronavirus, people have lost jobs, I think that also plays a fact to the intensity, because people are idle, people are home, nobody's going to work. So this thing is just on a loop, So people have time, people are angry, and some of the people are looting, even Caucasians who are out there causing havoc. It's not necessarily because, it's because of, what happened to Floyd, it's because of not having a job, he's lost his job. Is like there's a lady who apparently works in a store, and she actually got filmed. She went back to a store that she works, and actually, she was you can imagine, so she probably knows where all the good stuff is. So so I think it's just purely frustration and
yes, that's the word, frustration.
I know, but that's
nice.
Sawa. That's my small contribution to your take. But hey, good job. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm always tuning in, and we'll keep it going.
Why do you hate your fellow human beings so badly? If I had my nose like here and my ears maybe here and my eyes, maybe I had one eye here and one eye on my heart, then I would be different. But you guys, we are just the same. We are 100% the same. Only color is different. And if you look even in our history, the history of the human being, everybody kind of came from Africa. Everybody was actually black. It's only with the change of temperatures and the weather, people, and then genes just change and stuff. But even besides that, why do we hate one another so badly? Even here on the internet, we ourselves, there's just kind of some hate that somebody just hates a sister because a sister is doing something. Somebody just hates a sister because a sister looks shining on Instagram. You know, if it starts from there, then there's no way we're going to pretend that we are fighting for black supremacy or we are for equality, for race equality and stuff. These people, these people who hate the blacks so much, they see it already on how we behave, not only on social media, but even among us. Because you realize even here in Germany, that as Kenyans, we'd rather have friends who are non-Kenyans, non-blacks. We'd rather identify with the whites than our fellow sisters and brothers. Like you're walking at the train station, and then you always know directly that a Kenyan is a Kenyan because they speak Swahili. When a group of Kenyans are together, they normally speak in Swahili. Then you see somebody maybe with a husband or with a son or whoever they are, a white person, and you just hear the way they're saying, oh, those are Kenyans, let's follow this way. The hate starts with us. But now, it has reached boiling point. And when it reaches boiling point, that is when you see the true colors of people. And we've pretended enough. Like, Americans have pretended enough. Like, acting like the society wants them to act. Acting like first world. Then at the end of the day, you realize that even Africa is better. Because the way these people have, like, destroyed property and stole from those Chanel shops and blah blah blah, those things I was seeing on CNN, like a Chanel shop that has been covered with wood. During COVID, the Chanel people, all those Louis Vuittons, they covered their shop with wood as if it may look like there's a new shop being built behind that wall. These guys destroyed that wood wall plus the shop, and very expensive shoes are lying on the streets like they're nothing, like that's when you just notice people are broke, people are suffering, people are living in first world, but because of pretending, because of situation, because of the fact that you're in America, you just want to show off a life that you really don't have. You want to show off, you want to show people that you're okay when you're not okay. And then when it reaches boiling point, it reaches here, then it's when it comes out. So those people who are like stealing from those shops, you just notice they don't have money. COVID-19 has already made them so broke, they have lost their jobs, and then comes this hate also. We are all the same, in short, we're all the same. Africa, with all our stone throwing and all our temper when it comes to elections, is the same thing that is happening in America. And I'm sure there is no Kenyan or Ugandan or Tanzanian or South African or Nigerian who is among that group of those protesters, because of course we are afraid. It's very difficult to, because those who are there, they are African Americans. And then us here, we are still afraid of paperwork. You're thinking, I would really like to go back home. But home again, you don't have anything to go back to. You've been investing in your family's life. You've been investing in your family's property. You've been paying fees. You are suffering here. You cannot go back to Kenya because also on Facebook, they think you're okay. So now you cannot risk going also to protest, to show your heart, to also just get your anger off you because you're afraid you might be arrested and you're not an African American. You may just end up being deported. So it's actually fear. It's a big thing. I'm sure if everybody had papers, if everybody was okay, if everybody had money, you'd see more people, and you'd see a lot of people even moving back to Africa. You guys, what are you saying? What do you think, Yawa? What do you think? Are you guys afraid? Let me see if Ashley could join me. Ashley, would you join me, please, so that Ashley says, racism is everywhere and has been happening globally. I have experienced this all over the world. However, now it's just being captured on video for the world to see. Looting and violence is wrong. Those people need to be more educated on how to vote and strive for change by using their voice. Thank you for covering this on your channel. Thank you so much. Ashley, if you could just join me or ask Ishmael to join me, I'd be so glad. This is the opportunity for even him to talk about his vision and his foundation. Please ask Ishmael to send me a request to join the live. It would be really, really good. So Ken Ougo is watching. Jimmy James says, I'm here in San Francisco. You're making some sense, but the illegals are suffering more. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The illegals, look now. Even us here in Germany, we have a lot of immigrants who've been here for more than even 15 years. When I came to Germany, there were some Nigerians here who are living without papers, but working. It's not that they're criminals or whatever, no. They are working, they have jobs not official jobs. They're working like under some people, like they have rented basements and they have rented they're paying rent, they're paying house rent under some other people's names, and they're working every day from morning to evening. They have money, but they don't have papers. They don't have a permanent stay. They don't have the legal documents to be like, to just exercise rights like anybody else. And they've been here for, when I came, that was in 2005, they were already here like 8-10 years. And then now refugees come and they are integrated immediately. They are being given first class priorities, first class opportunities, and people who've lived here, who've really even, they are ready to pay tax. They just need to be set free. They just need to be accepted as citizens. They don't even need for somebody to look for a house for them to live in. No. They don't need any help from anybody. All they need is that their paperwork are done and they're officially accepted, even on visa or on residence or on passport. But they can't get it. Yet you find the refugees coming in and, you know, their kids are treated so well. They are given money. Siko baya, like it's actually very unfair. Me, if I would be these people in these governments, or just acting out of humanity, I would first of all check on the people who've stayed here longer, who've even lost touch with their people back at home because they've been here for ages and have no illegal documents to stay and are not criminals. They've never been in jail. They're just hiding, but really depending on themselves. And then give them stay first. Once I've given them all the stays, and they are officially here, they can now pay tax because they're earning money. They can't pay tax because they're afraid. So they keep their monies in their houses, under their pillows, in their mattresses. They send their monies home through other people. Yet they really want to pay tax actually. They just want to exercise their rights as human beings in a place where they love to be at. Yeah? But they are refused to. If they are found, even after 25 years, they're being deported. Now comes a refugee who, you find that from their stories, some of them, not all of them, some of them, they actually have rich families back at home. They have paid a lot of money to be transported here through those boats. Once they get here, they're really given first-class treatment. And they are actually even going to get like families to host them. They're given jobs. If they're lucky, they're given jobs. They just stay. And they're free because they're refugees. They're free. They can travel around Europe. They're on UN passport, this blue passport. They're feeling free. Yet somebody who's really been struggling here for so many years cannot get this freedom. It is so bad. And sometimes you find that, because most of the people who hide are actually black people. And they are hiding, but they're not criminals. Even if they do their jobs, like even if they sell what they, like drugs or whatever, but they're not harming nobody. They're just doing their thing and then going back home and living a very correct life. A person who is coming from maybe Syria, yeah, because they are a bit white, they'll come here and they'll be treated much better. You know, that is also a kind of racism. That is also a kind of racism. So if you research and look for people who are really here illegally, who illegally yet actually legally, you find that they're mostly black people. And people who have quickly gotten their papers, yet they are also refugees, are at least Arab-skinned or white-skinned or yellow-skinned. This issue of skin is a problem. And that is why I can't even blame Kenyan girls who are married to white people. Why? Because it's kind of a hiding place. You know, if you have a white person who loves you very much, they'll do you a lot. Government issues, when it comes to going to foreigners' office, they'll always go with you or go for you there and sign papers for you. It's easier. So don't think that when a Kenyan girl or an African lady is married to a white, it's just about always just because they don't like black people. No. It's easier having a white husband than having a black husband. You can laugh because even if you watch Nigerian movies sometimes, me Terry Nyang'ia, when I watch Nigerian movies, these latest movies like Boys Club, these ones of these hot movies, I just start feeling like I want some love from a black man. Like I just they know how to love. Black men know how to love. Like a black man is just a good lover. Yeah? But then you just have to survive with a white man. Why? Because you live in their country and with him you are safer. Your people will be judging you. Your people will be misusing you back at home. They'll be now, you are suffering inside your heart and soul. You are trying to hold on this person even if you don't love them, because you know the situation at hand. You know the situation here. You know what you're going through. You know you'd rather actually have that brother. But situation. So msionage tu diaspora kuna uzungu hapa mnadhani raha. Hata wakionyesha kwa social media, they show them on social media because that is the only way that the husband will see that they're loved. Of course, love is love. Of course, they love their husbands. But if you'd give equality to everybody, like color equality, you'd find black girls getting married to black men in these foreign lands. 100%. If you just give equality, make it 50-50, like here, you're all the same. You'll not see anybody running to a white man unless, you know, love. But reality, you'll see all of us looking for our black men. Yeah? It's just the safety. People who are married to whites are just safer here. Even in Germany, if you're married to a white man, you're just safer. You are just safer. Even your child is safer than a totally black child. A totally black child may live on visa because the father is from Kenya, the mother is from Kenya, the father is from Nigeria, the father is from Kenya. You know, they will live on visa according to the way the mother is getting a visa. But a mixed child, because the father is German or the mother is German, you know what? They will get a passport at birth. At birth, because the father is a citizen. So how do you expect a Kenyan girl whose parents back at home, whose sisters and brothers back at home is giving them pressure to send back money, to do this, yeah, to now marry again a Nigerian or to marry a Kenyan, even if they love a Kenyan so much? It's difficult. Because those who are at home, you people who are at home, our families at home, you are just saying, Mzungu, we want it on our profile. We want to put his photo on our walls at home. You don't understand. That is where the hate begins. You don't understand your daughter. You don't understand your sister. You want to profile yourself. You want to boast. You want you want that class. You are giving her pressure. Now she's getting married to these people you call a buju or you call tea bags. And then again, you are bad-mouthing them and giving them depression. Yet they're doing it for you. People don't get married to a buju here because they love it. Me and my beauty and my body and my hips. The way black men love women with hips. Eh? But the pressures won't let you. The pressures from home, and then the stereotyping here on the pressures here again won't let you just live your life. You have to live your life for people. Before you get to that point where now you live for yourself, it's too late. And before you live for yourself, you also have to cut a lot of contacts, and you have to sacrifice relations and just to stop a lot before you can live for yourself. Huh? It's not easy, but you'll be asking in those groups, like I've seen a lot of people asking, why do they live abroad and or pendu yuko? Why do they live in those countries when they're not loved there? We'd rather be us who are here in Kenya. Kenya would not be Kenya. Uganda will not be Uganda. Tanzania will not be Tanzania without the diasporans. The money that we send back home from these struggles and these hates is what is holding Kenya, is what is held. The diaspora money, the remittance, is what is holding those countries. That is why you can afford to open your mouth and say, I'd rather be in Kenya. We are a big part of the economy of our countries back in Africa. They need us to be out here, to be able to stabilize our economies, for you to feel good where you are. Yet you're coming on social media and abusing that sister who is abroad, yeah? And she's the one who is making you feel the way you feel. That comfortability, that comfort that you have. You know, I normally tell people that people who badmouth me and say that I don't give, I don't know what. I always tell them that I give those who give, those who think I don't give. When that other person is giving you, and me about badmouthing me, telling me that I don't give, that person who's given you, ask her who gave her. You'll just come out to find that the money you're holding in your hand or the help you have in your hand has come from me through her. We give those who give, those who think we don't give. We pass the money over. We bring through, we pay taxes. When we send our people money, or when we contribute to those monies that you DJs want online, musicians want online, funerals, Apoyo Biggie wants there. All these monies, when you send them, they're taxed. They're cut off. They're cut off over here as they go. When they reach there, they also cut off. And then they land at the taxpayer's office. This is what is holding you there. You are there, oh, blah, 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 blah. So when we listen to that, then we say, let's survive here. When you survive here also, you meet such things that are happening in America, for example. You are pretending. You have to show social media that you're living well. You have to show social media that you have a home. Yet you're living in a cardboard mansion, like I always say. You know, my American sisters, they take it wrongly when I say that, but it's the truth. The houses in America are very beautiful. They are beautiful. The designs are beautiful. But they have a different quality, a different way of building those houses. That's why I call them cardboard mansions. Yeah? If you want to know where this story began, I once talked about it here. And then it went viral in our Luo community group in social media. And I was really almost killed for it. But then, what I was just trying to say is, you want us to show you, like, the pressures of these groups. You want us to show you what we have abroad, huh? Now, this sister in America will come and show you that mansion, that cardboard mansion that she has. Because you're not giving her the opportunity to just chill and then come and build something small like a bungalow at home one day and then at least be proud of it. You are giving her the pressure of you've lived in America for those days, all those years, and you don't have nothing. She has to live in a house, but then she also has to fit somewhere. She also has to keep contact with you. Being on social media is about keeping contact, because if you get lost so much, you can land in depression, or you can be forgotten, or people can mistake you for cut contact. We are on social media for different reasons. We are on social media to keep contact, to keep our people knowing that we are still with them. In case you are even sharing like even somebody has died and now things are being shared among the family. Don't forget me. I am not gone. I am there. That is why I keep talking to you on social media. It's not because I just want to hang around social media. I just want to show you that I'm still here. I'm still a part of your family. I'm still a part of you. I'm still available. I am coming home, even when I'm not coming tomorrow. I might come when I'm 70, but I am still a part of you people. Because when I disappear, you assume that I'm okay, I'm fine, I've cut contact, so you can sell my land, you can sell my father's land, I'm out of your, But when you see me on social media, you notice, Terry bado anakuanga, Terry bado inakuanga, Terry bado anakuanga. So don't judge everybody on social media. Don't just judge. Don't think that everybody is there to boast. And now, while we are on social media, the pressures get hold of us. They are normal. And they are depressing. You get to this group like Home Beautiful. People are posting you are actually doing the right thing. You are working as a nurse, or you are doing whatever you're doing. You're earning good money. Your children are going to school. You are just fine. But then you go to these spaces on social media where all your friends are, where you'll have to meet there. They've tagged you there. Even if you refuse to go, you'll have to go there. Macho hayana pasia, you have to go there. Then you see what is being posted there, and you start questioning your own conscience. You start questioning yourself. Am I a failure? Am I doing something wrong? Why is it that this girl just came to Europe the other day? Or this girl, we were with her in Kenya and she was actually below me. She was a failure. She used to be number 25. Me, I was number 1. And I've not gotten what she's gotten. Why is it that this girl is married to such a rich man and me, I'm still struggling here with white people? Why? Then you start going out of your curve. You're starting, your road is just going elsewhere. Pressures. You get headache. You come home, you start thinking. Then now you go out of your house and you take a photo of what, even if it's on rent, because most of them live on rented houses. And if they have houses, they've bought them on loans, and it's actually pressure, because in America, almost everybody has bought a home out of loan, mortgage. And they use their cars for security, to secure those houses. They've done a lot to get those houses, even if they bought them on cash. But now they're even broke. They've sacrificed something. They're doing a lot of jobs. They're driving far. They are suffering to get those things. Now your pressure is making her post a photo of something that actually is not really hers yet. It still belongs to a bank. Yeah? Belongs to a bank or is rented, to come and at least just cover up. The moment she has done that, she's now very, very suspicious. She's now guilty. She now has to find a way of working hard so that she may have that home. So that one day, because she knows things turn around, and one day you'll be badmouthed on chit chat or on Kilimani Moms that hiyo nyumba iko yake. Now they start going off-road. They start doing things that are not supposed to be done. They start doing these things, escort jobs, sugar babe, sugar dad, sugar. You know these things that people are doing out here? Do you think they're doing them because they love it? Everybody loves their comfort. Everybody would love to sit on the sofa and just lie down and just take a glass of wine or some tea and mandazi and just watch TV. Everyone, even you. But people go out to do all these sugar babe things, escort jobs, madam jobs, everything extra to meet the pressures of social media so that they can survive on social media, because social media is there and it's growing even tougher. It's getting tougher and tougher and tougher with the pressures. And then, at the same time, so she can maintain the quality of her parents and, the pride that their parents have, because we abroad, we put our parents first. You are so far away. You don't want your mother telling you, oh, I heard that you are suffering, no, I'm having high blood pressure, I'm having this, I'm having this. You don't want to hear that your mother is suffering because of what she heard about you on social media. So you want always to maintain your level. Your level must be high so that the reporters who are reporting to their mothers, who again will talk, and then it will reach your mother's ears, can just send positive messages. Yet actually you're living negatively. This is when you see now on CNN that the people that you admire, the people that you always want to be like, the people who you see like they are just, hey, when you see somebody's living in Bronx, New York, hey, you don't even want to check to find where is this Bronx, New York? Is it like Karen in New York, or is it like Dandora? You don't want to know. You had New York on a movie. You had Alicia Keys saying New York, where dreams are made of. You had New York. Hey, you putting this person, seeing her like they cannot suffer. How can you be suffering and you live in New York? Surely, New York, Times Square. You just seeing this person's house at Times Square. So what do you expect of him or of her? To maintain that level. Yeah, at the end of the day, when you now look at those videos, those news clips that we're now seeing on TV, you realize that those parts of those places that your people live in, that you assume they're just good places, they're actually ghettos. They're actually only black, poor people's place. You understand? You are priding out there. You want them to send you money every month. When they send you money to build them homes at home, to buy them land, you squander them because your brother or your sister lives in New York or in Los Angeles, Miami. Anaishi LA. LA si tunayo kwa movie. Si huko ni Hollywood. Si huko na kina Lupita wana act. You don't know that LA, there's also just a place unaweza panda train uende kwa katikati ya tao like Kenya Cinema pale, and that is where the Hollywood is. Otherwise, there's also Githurai, there's also what do you call it? Those places, Umowan and all those places. You don't know that. So once you put these pressures on them, they keep sending you money, they keep doing but then they're suffering. Then you see them on TV and you wonder, is this America? Is this America? Yeah, that is America. America is just the same as you. The people who are in America, it's just a land that is divided by waters. We are all on the same floor. We are not, there's no country that is inside the core of earth. None. Everybody is just on the surface. We are just divided by waters and the cracks of waters. If you look at the map, we are all the same. We're just on top of the globe, all of us. Nobody is inside. Nobody is also on the air. Ni kama tu uko kwenu. These things should just teach us, according to me, my message, what I'm taking from this thing is we start from home. Our home people, where we have come from. Know that we came here and we do a lot for you. We endure a lot for you. We always want to make Africa better. Yet Africa is the best place ever. Africa is the best place. Evergreen. Yeah? When you look at news sometimes, you see, like I watch news sometimes here. One day I was going out, and then my neighbor tells me, Aki Terry, is your mother all right? My next door neighbor, she moved now, but she used to live here. Is your mother okay? And I said, why is my mother? Why are you asking about my mother? Yeah, I've seen on news how cows are dying in Africa. Cows are dying, there's drought, there's no water. They had seen this news of there was drought in Eastern, Northwestern, where there's always drought all the time. So for them, when they see such a thing, it's the whole of Africa. They forget that there's also some parts of east of Africa where it's just cold, like Rift Valley, like Kuko Kitale. They forget. What they see on TV, these kids that are used by UN and UNEP to advertise to ask for people to donate money for children, I don't know what. That is Africa. So that is how they see you. Now, they've already put in that level. You are, I don't know. Then now, again, when you research properly, you realize that it's worse even in Australia. In Australia in summer, there are places that there are cities that are dead cities. In Australia, first world country. If you even Google, as I talk to you, Google Australia drought, semi-arid areas in Australia. You realize they are worse than those northeastern parts of Kenya that you see. Those Kinalodwa, those places where they go to do charity. You find that at least those places, even if they are hot and dry, there are people living there. In fact, a mass of people living there and surviving. Those parts of Australia, for example, cows die like a cow is like the whole field is full of dead cows dropping dead because it is so hot and dry that no riches can help it. And you are in Kenya, you are thinking somebody is in Australia, you want to go live there. Or your daughter or your sister is in Australia, you're giving them pressures to help you out, yet they are living in a worse place than you're living. If our government and our people and our families would just accept every child in the family like they're supposed to be accepted, if every mother and father out there would just know that when you give birth, you have to take care of every child of yours, and what wapange uzazi, nobody would be suffering out here. You'd not see any black person out there. If our governments were good enough, they would call on people who are rich like the Kenyattas, the Odingas, the who, to just donate some of their land. And then ask these black Americans who have no homes. You know, as Kenyans like me, I would still run home. I would still run maybe to, even if I don't have a home, I would go to somebody's house. I would go to Susanna Will's house. Susanna would just let me live with her even in her village. But there are people in America, for example, or here, who are born here, and now they're facing such racism. They have nothing. They have maybe an apartment or a small house in New Orleans or in Texas or in wherever, Minneapolis or in Minnesota. That one space that they have no other place to even plant maize. What they have is just that small house that they have from their grandparents to them. No, nothing else. As Africans, as people who are actually, we see ourselves like we're suffering, we have 3 homes. An African has a house in Nairobi, in the city, even if it's just like a thatched house in the ghetto. But at the same time, they have a home in the village with their own land where their father or grandfather left for them, green land with black or red soil that can be, cultivated, that has homes, that have people, that has grass, that has cows and chicken. Every African person, even the street child, has a family. An African person in Africa has family somewhere, even if they threw them away or sent them away. They always have somewhere to run back to at the end of the day. That is why when we die as Africans, we're not buried. We are normally not buried in these places. What do you call them? In cemeteries, because we are taken back home to our villages. What about that American, that black American who is running now and vandalizing and stealing out there? If they die, they go to cemetery. They don't have a village. All they have is what they have. So if our African presidents would just see that and stop being so selfish and just donate some of their lands and just say enough is enough. Let's take back. Let's ask the blacks who want to come back, because their great grandfathers left Africa to go there. Nobody knows where they came from now. But there are some black Americans out there who would really love to go back to Africa. This is the time when our presidents would just say, okay, let's donate half of what we have, or maybe make some homes somewhere, and ask the Americans, the black Americans who want to come back, so that they can settle with their grandmothers who are still alive, that they just start a life. Because when they come as a family, even if you just give them like a half an acre, or just somewhere to just build like 3 houses, as long as they come back as a family, they can start a life. You know, bringing just a child or bringing just one person is the problem. That one is not easy. That cannot happen. But if you like give a family, offer families plus flight ticket, they can come and really even help us even more. Because they don't have it. That is why you think they're really rioting out there. They're not just rioting because George Floyd died or whatever. These people, they are killed every day. They are just tired. The word is tired. They have nowhere to go. They have no life. That is where they were born. They did not ask anybody to birth them there, to give birth to them there. They have no choice. But the African countries that should be housing them and giving them back their dignity and allowing them back to just settle and become returnees are quiet. Then they're still sending flowers to the UK, to the Commonwealth. They're still sending flowers to nurses in the UK. Instead of acting and saying, okay, enough is enough. Let's bring our people back. Let's allow them back. Let's ask our Kenyan daughters and sons who are abroad, who want to come back home, And let people who are not giving us anything here in Kenya to move. Because we have even white people really who are in Kenya and are doing really nothing. Like, not those ones who are at home, who are also born there. Those ones are there. But there are people who are just rich. They're just on holiday in Diani. They have homes everywhere in the world. When fire starts in Africa, you'll see them being taken. They'll be at the airport, like when COVID started. They'll be at the airport, running for their lives. They're being saved. They're being protected by their governments. Suddenly, when everything is okay, they're back. They own lands, they own farms, they own safari farms, wherever. In Mombasa, they're the ones who own these servos and servo parks. And now they've run away. They're in Germany. They've run away. They want to be safe in America. They want to be safe in Sweden, in Norway. Now, those are the things that our government should be checking on. And see, if you have a home elsewhere, like now during COVID, whoever has left, that means you have a home elsewhere. Go there. Go there. Whoever stayed here during COVID, you belong here. If you stayed here during this COVID time, that means you belong here, you're okay. But every other person who escaped, who ran to the airport to be taken back home, you belong where you went. So, give those spaces to these black Americans who have no homes. Because they could run they could really like run to manage those safari parks. They could manage those hotels. They are bringing their skills and their expertise and those things that are going to waste out there, those things that are being killed out there, they're bringing them back to Africa. And Africa could turn and be the first world because we have everything. But what are we? Our presidents, they're so selfish. They're richer than thou. They're richer than God himself. Rich. But they're just sitting and watching TV too. They're also watching TV. No humanity, nothing. People are just selfish. It is unfair. It is so sad. So whatever we say, whatever we do, if our African leaders cannot do something about helping these people and show people like Donald Trump and Angela Merkel and the French, all these presidents out here, that you know what, you might see us as nothing, but we are something. We are standing up for these people because black is Africa. The black continent is Africa, and it's rich, and it's actually godly. We'll be respected for it. I can pack my things like today and leave this white kitchen here and go home. Like, straight away. If our people would just bend low, if family would just bend low and just accept me the way I am and stop putting pressures on me, I'd pack my things like today and take a flight home, go get a job and work. But because of the pressures, even if you share these things with your own family, they won't help you. They'll be like, oh, just survive. Even if your husband is beating you, you're living with a white person in the house and they're beating you because they know anyway you depend on them. You cannot do anything without them. They help you get your papers. They know all your details on you. They know. When you stay home, just survive. Like you said, if you can get a nyumba, I can see he helps us. He has paid fees for so many people. I can just survive. You're suffering. On social media, you're being abused. You're being abused the way you are living with a white man. You are doing this. Abuju, see teabag, see what. On the other side, your family, Katuna, you just stay with her, stay with him. What do you want these people to do? What do you want your daughters to do? But the moment you say, enough is enough, my daughter, calm. The little we have, we will eat it. The little we have, I chose to birth you. You didn't choose to come to the world. I chose you. Come back. You see, things will change. The moment our own people respect us, these people will respect us. You even notice if you are here watching me and you have like a white husband, for example, when your family is behind you, if your family is strong enough and sometimes when Mgombeza kikuchokoza, you realize all his family, they respect you. But if you live with somebody who's can do whatever they want to do with you and your family doesn't talk, your family doesn't even call them to tell them, you mlifanya vibaya. You suffer. That is how it is. So we are all the same human beings. Haki ya Mungu, kila mtu. You, me, her, him. We are all the same. Just like you've seen on TV. We are all the same. We all get angry. We all meet this evil. We all stay hungry. We all get broke. Even me, Terry Nyang'ia. Sometimes I shine on Facebook. I shine. But that's because I'm within my house. I don't have to go out for pressures. I just dress for myself and just enjoy. But at the same time, you find that in my account, in my bank account, hey, there's even no need to print a bank statement because I only have maybe 5 euros to hold the account. That one that you can't remove. That one you cannot withdraw. Because the moment 3rd of a new month comes, you are broke. You are broke, why? Because of the people who come back again and abuse you. The people who come back again and don't understand you. The people who can't help you. But you're sacrificing yourself for them. So when your husband or your neighbor or your schoolmate or whoever knows that, how will they respect you? So they just turn around when they see that now everybody's against niggers. Then they also join in the group and also nigger you. Yeah, because you already told them how your own family don't even act to respect you. They put pressures on you. Yeah, that is where hate begins. They hear it from us. They see it from us. All these groups on social media that are actually public. And people just, somebody goes live and abusing a fellow sister or a fellow brother in English. Even on Instagram now. I see people going live on Instagram, speaking in English and saying things they should not be saying. People giving secrets of how they came to Europe, how they came to, I don't know, through which means, how they escaped where. People telling sisters how to go to, I don't know, Tinder, to go and look for husbands. You know, these things are public, and even those husbands are listening. So when you're already talking such shit on the internet, how do you expect to get respect? They already know how you're talking. They're going to share it with other people on the other forums. And then, when you get him on Tinder, he will come and take you, yeah, but he knows you inside out. The respect fades. From day one when you meet him, he's already saying this one. Wait until he gets to my house, he'll see fire. Or she'll see fire. Anyway, guys.
Oh my God, I was really trying to connect. I'm like, what's happening? I have my earphones, so I hope there's no echo.
Oh, thanks. How is Atlanta? Alana?
Atlanta is on fire, honestly. They called another rioting today, and we just don't know where this is going to go. But tutafanya nini? You know, people are angry. It's just a lot of heartache, and I think imelipuka. So what are we going to do?
Still on it.
I think they called another one today because we make a curfew from 9, and the curfew is helping, but they're, you know, the people who want to go out there protest, they're also really, really angry. So they say they're going to meet again today, and they can't stop them if the curfew is not yet on, you know.
Okay. Now what's the time now? What's the time now?
It's what the time? I have the phone is up there. I think it's about 2:30. I can't see.
Because here it's 8:10. Whoa, it's already 8:10, and the sun is shining. You guys, it's 8:10, and the sun is shining. Like, let me show you. Let me just show you my backyard. You see, look, it's 8:10. Yes.
What?
And my garden is just as bright.
Oh my God! So what time does it get dark? That's really bright.
Dark at 11 p.m. We're heading to summer. That's why.
Sema, I was trying to, so I missed some of the stuff that you were saying, but I don't know. There's so much to cover. There's so much issues, so I don't know what you want me to speak about specifically.
Normally I just talk things that come on my head. You know, I don't use script. But
yeah,
my first question was this issue of filming racism, the situations, the incidences, and posting on social media. Is it making it worse or is it helping? Secondly,
It's making it worse. Okay,
Finish the
go ahead.
last.
Oh, it's making it worse because already people are charged. Already people are mad already. So what you're really doing, you're adding gasoline into it, honestly. So that's why even the original video, when I saw it, I was like, I'm not going to even post this. Because every time you post it, you're making it accessible to somebody else, and everyone is angry, and you don't know what that person you reached with the views on your page. You don't know what that person is going to do. So I think at this point, we don't need to share it and continue, you know, it's clear. It's clear there's been a problem. It's clear we have an issue. We don't need to keep on resharing and putting all of this, or these people are looting, these people are doing this. Because anytime someone puts up a photo and say, oh, this person is looting, or this person is doing this, it just makes people more angry. So I think at this point, it's counterproductive.
Yeah,
to do that.
that question came up in my mind because, like I was telling Frank, where I live is very peaceful. We rarely encounter racism. Actually, not.
Yeah.
We say, I live here with Pauline, yeah, my best friend Pauline, and we've never encountered it. But recently, there was an incident that we had just on Saturday, that a group of boys, teenagers, were in a car, and then they saw some black lady running, jogging around here, and they just like shouted, "You niggers! So you guys are the niggers. You're the niggers who are being killed in America." You know, because they watch it on news and they're seeing it online. But innocent until that point. Now they know, and maybe they would even go ahead and now harm people because they're seeing, aha, this is how to deal with them. So they're not people to accept. They're not a part of our society. You know, that's how kids start thinking. Because children are born racists, or not?
I believe what you're saying, because there's actually a research that says that anytime they will film someone who has committed suicide, the suicide level goes up. And it's the same idea. Now we're seeing racism. Some people didn't even understand it really, because some people are in very sheltered communities and they really didn't see this until now it became like a national thing. And now they're like, oh, now I have an idea of what to do to a black person, you know? So as much as we are, it has reached a point where it's like a turning point. I think if nothing changes from now on, there has been such an outpour of just protest with this. If there's no laws that really change, if the system doesn't change, and I dare say this, it's not even the police officer that has a problem, Terry. It's the system. It's the system, the way they're trained. There's a video I saw, I'll try and look for it and post it. There's a video I saw where they were being taught, you know, training your police officers. There was a video where the guy was training them and telling them, this is how you deal with someone if he's in a car. This is how you deal with someone. And everything that person was saying was aggressive. It was not something to de-escalate. I did not see. It's like, this is literally what that guy say. And this is someone who is training police officers who are going to have guns outside there. And the guy is saying, when you go out there, it is literally you against that person. It is your life against that person. So the fastest you shoot, the fastest you save yourself. If you train someone like that, it does not matter who is holding that gun. There's even blacks who have killed blacks just because, oh, I was scared. So really, it's not the people themselves. Now, there's racism in there, and there's racism, especially in the American policing world, because it was modeled, the time that they put in police rules, they put in the police rules during slavery. So most of it is geared towards pushing back the black person, pushing back, and they never really changed that. Wali add on to walieka tu galisosa, wakaeka tu galisosa until right now. So the start of the policing started on a bad foot, and they've never changed it, you know? So it does not even matter who is the police. It does not even matter who. We'll take that guy, we'll put him in prison, we'll still find other ones coming in and doing the same thing. So the system has to change. They have to change how they are. In fact, me, I feel you should not be a police officer if hujafanya black belt, hauna black belt, hauna maybe blue, whatever, how many belts do they have? If you've not done martial arts, you've not done like taekwondo and all of that, you should not be given a gun, because the gun should be the exact last option for you to get out. You know, there's a problem when there's this kid in Atlanta, one of the universities, I think it was Emory University. I think venye watoto wanakwanga kwa shule and then they smoke some drugs and then they get high. And the kid got high and they got rowdy, so they called the police on campus. And this kid was running with a small knife, like just a very small knife, telling the police, I'll kill you. And the kid is high, you know. The police killed that child, shoot to kill. And I'm like, you could have tased that child, you could have shot in the leg, you could have done anything else apart from shoot to kill that child in school. So there's a problem with the training. So, and I'm thinking, unless they put them where they're able to do martial arts, they know how to de-escalate a situation, you should not be given a gun. If you cannot, because I mean, people who have done taekwondo, you even show them a gun, it is easy for them to take that gun and pull it out of their face and de-escalate, you know? So why are we putting police who, I was scared for my life, that's why I shot, because I was scared. Something is wrong with the training. Something is wrong with the training. And because
what about this one who didn't even use a gun? It was just like pocketing and kneeling, like hate written on the face.
That's the point. It's like they don't even have to use a gun. What they're being taught in the academy and what they're being taught in the police thing is, this person comes at you, even speaks back at you, you have to go at them and go at them hard. So even when that guy is not even fighting, anyone who has done, even if it's boxing, even in wrestling in Africa, there are rules and regulations that go with fighting people, you know? There's war rules, like they call them. Even in Afghanistan, if they wanted to shoot an entire village and someone comes out and wave a white flag, there are rules and regulations of war, you know? Once someone is down, it's done. It's done. So anything else you're doing beyond that, that's now murder, you know? And this was clear murder. And so you're asking yourself, but there's so many of them. So why is it that there's this case and there's this case and then we raise up, we protest, and then there's this case and then we raise up, we protest, and then there's this case? It's not the people themselves, it's the system. The system is making, so of course, ukiwa mtu mbaya na ufundishwe how to be even more worse, you'll be more lethal, you know? But ukiwa polisi mwenye unaenda kanisa na ufundishwe kukuwa mtu mbaya, you will still be bad, but not as lethal as someone who went in there just to kill people, you know? So it's such a bigger problem. I don't even know where to start with it. It's such a big problem.
What would you prefer? I mean, tribalism or racism?
None. But if I will say, if I was to say which one is not as lethal or which one is not as hurting, I would prefer tribalism in the sense of you can learn a language.
Once
right?
you learn it,
the tribalism factor of it is gone.
Tribalism is always all about not understanding the language.
Exactly, not understanding the language, not speaking Kikuyu. So when a lot of those who can speak Kikuyus are not tribalists, because then they understand. There's an understanding that comes from there. You cannot change and become another race. Yes. You can put cream on your skin and become as pink as possible, but you're never going to be white. So the racism is a problem that you really, even if you wanted to find a solution for it, you cannot resolve it. Now I cannot change and become white. So, and you're telling me to hate my black skin. What do you want me to do? What is the solution? Exactly. So I think the solution, and I've spoken about this, I think the solution is for Black people. Someone cannot tell you to love yourself. You gotta work and love yourself. And I love the way you put your name, Proud Chocolate, because that's a very, that signals to what you stand for, you know? And that's a problem with a lot of Black people there. And it starts back home in Africa. It starts with our history. You know, we don't learn enough about Black you know, Black people who did well in Africa. We don't learn enough about our kingdoms, but we know Akina Otto von Bismarck, we know the Queen of England, we know all of these people, you know. So that's a problem, because and then I'm sorry to say, even when you go to church, the photo you see there is the photo of someone who looks like Bradley Cooper, and you're praying to that. Subconsciously, you're being told that you're inferior, and this is what is closer to God. So if you cannot change and become this color, you know, you will always bow down naturally to anyone who is close to that color. That's why they're being treated better in restaurants. That's why when our presidents go overseas, they start acting like groupies. It's a mental thing. It's a mental thing. So we have to start with changing our curriculum. We have to change the history. We have to start healing back in Kenya before we even come to America, honestly. And start telling people, I hate it in Kenya where girls are told, oh, you have to either cut your hair short or work a chemical or you straighten it. Why can't I have Bantu knots in school? Why? What's wrong with Bantu knots? What's wrong with my natural hair in school? So even in Kenya, forget America and the rules we have in America. What happened in America was copy-pasted from England, made nikaekewa chumvi, and what happened in America during slavery is exactly what happened in apartheid South Africa. And they copy-pasted the same thing and did it in Kenya. You know, and I always say Kikuyus, South Africans with apartheid and Black Americans have the same thing in common. The same exact instruments that were done during slavery in the US, that exact thing was used. So you look at our schools, we are geared towards learning the West, okay? There's so many great leaders in Africa, we don't even have a clue about them. So as we grow up, and I was saying this, anytime 844 gets out, we have just gotten out a group of people who do not love themselves. You know, the way we were beaten to learn English, you know, it is so well organized, and the schools are so well organized to make sure that Black people hate themselves and African people hate themselves. And you're in the house, you're like, don't speak Luo. All kids who came from the village, you look down on them. Oh, we are naongea Kijaluo. Oh,
if you speak your language,
we speak English.
Luo, you get a disc. I went through that.
See, such a system is very dangerous to the African psyche. And Apple and Miu, I think about it, I'm like, we have so much work to do. Forget the problems in America. You know, we have so much work to do because ukivata kitenge, we're in shamba. If you speak your language, we're in shamba. If you eat anything that is not important, we're in shamba. Where is the problem? The problem is the system, from our education to our history to how our churches and our religion is presented to us. We're being told we're less than, we're inferior. And that problem really doubles when you get outside Kenya. Now you come to the US, because now you're dealing with identity issue. Do you know how important it is if you're in Kenya and someone is telling me when I'm Jaluo, when I'm Kikuyu, when I'm Kisii? That's your identity. You don't realize how that identity is important until you jump. Now you are an immigrant. But there's so many millions of immigrants, so how do you identify?
Yeah, even speaking about that,
you know,
how does it, if Black Americans, African Americans who are born in America and who are natives there, are feeling the way they're feeling, how are you guys who are immigrants, who have a home somewhere else, feeling? Especially those, you know, I was telling people here that those immigrants who are attached to, for example, natives there, like you're married to a white man or whatever, they are much better. You're safer.
Yeah.
And these are the reasons actually why we take them. Because it's not always just because we don't like we are accused, we don't like blacks.
Thank you.
No, it's safety.
Thank
it
you.
is easier in life. It is just something else. But then those
exactly.
who don't like most Kenyans in America anyway, they marry themselves. They, like in Texas, I see Kenyans marrying Kenyans. Now such people. What's the situation now if the natives are the ones who are going through that? What about immigrants who can be noticed through their speaking? Like somebody knows this one is an immigrant from this is not a Black American. How do you guys feel?
It's worse for them. It's worse for them, and they're an easier target, honestly. I'll say this, and you said it right, there's a little bit of safety that comes with marrying someone from here, especially if he's white. We're going to be honest, okay? Even back in the days, what used to happen, women used to marry the guy who has the strength, the guy who has the muscle, the guy who can go a window and let a meat in the house they eat, right?
You read about scorpions, the same thing. They get the strong.
Exactly. So what happens when you grow up and your parents, your community, everyone is looking up to this Odiero. Everyone is looking up to this white guy. Everyone is saying, oh, Riek Kaudiero, Ber Kaudiero, this Kaudiero. As a young lady, you want the best for yourself and you want to set up your family so that your family does well in life. So you go for the guy at the top of the rank. That's why a lot of Black women go for this white man, because it's a very easy way of going up the ladder. Because what you're telling me when I'm growing up, you're telling me the white man is the person you want to be with. You have to be intelligent like the white man. You have to be smart like the white man. You have to be Jaber Codiero, Lando Codiero, you know, all of these Luos that we say. And actually Luos were more affected than even Kikuyus when it comes to...
My mom used to tell me, when Nyero Katongo, Nyero Kamsungu, ni ha.
See? You know, I don't blame them. I don't blame them because they grew up under colonialism, you know? They grew up under colonialism. And what happens when someone really beats you up so much? There's this what they call about someone who has been beaten and captured, and then they start falling in love with the person who has captured them. What's that syndrome? There's a syndrome. There's a Nightingale syndrome, I think. A lot of our parents in Africa have, is it a Nightingale syndrome? That syndrome where you fall in love with your captor. We have that in Africa. We have that in Africa. These colonialists beat them so bad that they were like, you know what, if you cannot fight them, join them. So now they tried their best to get closer to the white man so that, you know, self-preservation. But it's such a bad thing because now it's a generation trauma that we're growing up with. We're being told, hey, Nyarodiero, hey, Bercodiero, and that implants something in our brain that, okay, white is the platinum level I should go for. So yeah, we're going to marry them because that's what I want for my life. I want my children. And then also colorism, you know, lighter skinned girls are liked because they're closer to the white man. And you know, the white man is the top of the top, you know.
Yeah.
So when you grow up...
Stockholm syndrome.
Thank you. Stockholm syndrome. A lot of Africans have Stockholm syndrome when it comes to colonization. You will find someone protecting Britain and America so hard more than they're going to protect their own government, you know? And then there's something called colorism where lighter skinned children are preferred more than dark skinned girls. So a lot of dark skinned girls marry white men because then your child is going to end up being light skinned and they will not have to go through the same trauma that you had to grow up with. Yeah. You see, it's a deeper problem. People think it's money. It's not money. It's not money. It's a power game. It's a power game, you know. But it can't continue like this. How long? Because
these people falsely sometimes, but it's. They are looking. They are trying to protect their kids in future. They're trying to spare them such stresses that we're going through. That's why they do that.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It's such a big topic, though. It's such a big topic.
And then,
we can't finish it.
Yeah, it's a large topic. But then again, people who are abusing, like I saw some comments on Facebook, either yesterday or today. Somebody saying, why are they then happy to be in America? Why are they living in America if they're hated there? Why are these girls on Facebook living in America if they're hated there? What do you tell such people?
It's the hate that you hate me is not going to take the food that I'm getting on my table. If you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, self-actualization is at the top, self-esteem is at the top. The basics are food, shelter, clothing, and then you go next, there's safety and security, okay? Now, yes, I'm going to be stopped by the police on the road and maybe might put my life in danger. And yes, I'm going through racism. I'm being hurt at work, or they're saying bad things about us and targeting us as African. But being in America takes care of the basic need, because how many times most of us who are overseas came from not very rich families, honestly. And there's days you sleep hungry. There are days you walked without shoes. You know, the days where you guys were thrown out because you did not have rent. So racism will not make me go hungry. It will just hurt my feelings.
What makes us leave our
exactly
come over here is worse than what's happening. You know, Africans are
Exactly. So I take it. You call me a monkey, you to call me what you, I'll take it, okay? But you will give me that money at the end of the month, and my mom who has diabetes, I will be able to take my mom to the hospital. You know, so it really comes down to humanity, basic needs. What is my need right now? You know, once I'm able to meet that need, then now I'm going to start getting.
Okay, the answer to them is I'm here because of you. You who is talking badly on the internet.
They will start putting us
managing to say what you say. Yeah,
I would encourage all Africans, Kenyans who are in the US to start taking screenshots of those people, because some of them are your relatives. Anytime because they will forget all of this very quick, and then within 2-3 weeks they're going to add you into the WhatsApp group and tell you we need this amount of money in Harambe. That screenshot will be your contribution to them. Let them continue speaking the way they're speaking. This is bigger. We're just here to take care of our families, take care of our communities, make sure that we show up, we give out money in Harambes. I hate it when Kenyans in Kenya, granted Kenyans in America, pia tunaringanga sana, we make it look like things are perfect. But honestly, when you're suffering so much, we are taught to put your best feet forward anyway. You know, so we will not naturally go out and tell you, oh, I'm suffering, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. I'll just tell you, oh, I have a nice car, I have a nice house. That's normal, okay? But I would urge Kenyans in Kenya to realize that the things that we're dealing with here, and there's a fact here. Kenyans overseas, but a large part of it for Kenyans in America, sent more money than IMF and World Bank.
Even Germany here,
we are supporting the Kenyan economy. IMF, hizo pesa tunatuma kwa Sendwave, pesa za, you know, oh, mother is sick, send money. Oh, my child is sick, send money. Oh, sina school fees. Oh, mtu amekufa, we don't have enough money.
Personally alone,
you know,
billions.
Mimi, I did my, karibu nianguke chini. I did my totals of all the Sendwave transactions that I've done from 2019 to right now. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of money. So anytime they want to talk badly, I want them to remember that, look, we do help. A lot of Kenyans overseas have very good hearts. They do help. So when we're going through things like this, let us not see your fat fingers on Facebook. In fact, we want you guys to call us, find us how we are doing. A lot of people have not even found out. Mtu wenu wako Minnesota, mtu wenu wako Atlanta, and you've not called and seen, were they affected by the riots?
They're not. Even the COVID-19 thing, nobody calls and asks how are you.
They don't call.
To be alert when it comes to their case. Nobody calls you. You are a hello, who cares? But when they have a problem, then they're on your case. And then again, when such things happen, they're on the internet, but mouthing you.
I'm taking screenshots. Even itakuwa my contribution to those Harambes, I will be told, oh, we have an Harambe. That screenshot of what you said about Kenyans in America, oh, America is shitty, why are you guys there? Oh, you guys are just suffering. You guys are just suffering. When you want a bill for us to help you get your mother out of the hospital, you're going to call us. And let me tell you, we are suffering, yes. But let me tell you, America pays Nagunia. Honestly, they pay. So if you get, you can actually get a lot and gain a lot from Kenyans in America if most of these people would just be Rosafi, or even Kenyans in Germany and Europe, because most of us took on a Rosafi and we earn good money. We don't really have that much to do with the money here. But the hatred has actually stopped a lot of development back home. It has to stop. We need them, honestly. We need them to call us, find out how we're doing. We want churches to hold prayer meetings and pray for Kenyans in America. We want, or Kenyans in Germany, we want them to put us in prayers and really care. Because honestly, depression is killing people here. People are dying because they're drinking, they're stressed out, they don't have family members who call on them and find out. It's really sad. We have to start thinking different, because this black on black hate, it's not helping us. It's really not.
Well said, really well said. Thank you for contributing, Akenya Bungu.
Yeah. Thank you.
Come again and again and again.
Thank
Maybe now go
you.
and watch news. We have to, this is a topic that cannot end today.
It can't. It's too big. It's too large. All right. Thank you.
Maybe later on Instagram or some another days. Yeah.
God
bless you guys. You guys, we are out of here. Bye. Bye. To go.
Proud chocolates.